Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I would like to welcome our students. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And this is the second video of lesson number 7. So you can call it second part of lesson number 7. So far we have discussed up to page number 62 of your textbook. And the remaining portion of the lesson, which starts from page number 63, will take up today, and we will complete lesson number 7 in this video. So altogether we will have two videos for lesson number 7. So we'll start from page number 63 of your textbook, and this is going to be the last lesson of second terminal exam. And after this I'm going to upload study material which will help you in your preparation for the upcoming exam. So page number 63, the first topic of today's lecture is it magic? When Aisha woke up in the morning, Ammi had fever. Abu made some tea and went to give medicines to Ammi. So we are talking about a family in which Aisha's mother is not feeling well. He told Aisha, you boil eggs, also put some salt in water. So while boiling it is advised to put salt. It helps in quick hardening of the white part. Aisha took water in a pot. By mistake she put too much salt in water. She saw the eggs at the bottom of the pot come up a little and start to float in water. So while boiling, Aisha was advised to put to put salt in order which helps in quick hardening of the white part of the egg. But by mistake she put large quantity too much salt in water. The result is while boiling the eggs come up a little and start to float in water. So take some water in a glass, put a lemon in it. Now keep putting salt in the water half a spoon at a time where you are able to float your lemon in water. So in order to understand what is the reason behind floating of an egg, you can conduct an activity in which lemon in water will be allowed to float on the surface of the water with the help of by adding salt in water. So what do you think the lemon floated in salty water? So what is the reason behind? So since you are in class 5, so the term density will be difficult to understand. So in this case we will discuss about the thickness of water. So when we add salt in water, the thickness will increase, and it results in thickness of the water results in floating of egg or lemon in this case. So water becomes thick by reducing the water level. So waters become thick, salt will occupy most of the so first the salt will dissolve in the water, and when we increase the amount of water when we increase the amount of salt, it will increase the thickness of water and reduces the level of water, which will be the result of floating of lemon or egg in water due to salt. So one fact is also mentioned, that sea, all oceans and seas have salty water. The saltiest of all is the Dead Sea. So in the starting itself we have discussed that, and you have the knowledge that Earth is 71% of the Earth is covered with water. That's why it looks blue from space. So out of 71%, very few amount of water or very few quantity of water is considered as fresh water, which can be used directly, but maximum amount of water on Earth cannot be used directly because they are salty. So when we talk about the saltiest of all, is the Dead Sea. How salty? Imagine 300 grams of salt in 1 liter of water. Would you be able to even taste such salty water? It would be very bitter. Interestingly, even if a person does not know how to swim, she would not drown in this sea. She will float in water as if lying down on it. So it is very thick. The water is very thick that even you don't know how to swim, you will float. You will not drown. So remember the lemon you floated in salty water. So it is similar to the activity that we have discussed just now before the topic Dead Sea. So it follows. So the next is, or it follows by what dissolved and what did not. On Sunday, Aisha's cousin brother Hamid came to her house to play. As soon as he came, he asked his aunt to make his favorite sakkar para, a sweet dish. Ammi said, "Let me come back from the market, then I will make some for you." So the story continues about Aisha, and this time she was playing with her brother, and her brother was requesting to make. He was requesting to Aisha's mother to make his favorite shakkar para. It's one of a sweet dish, I think it is mentioned here. Ami said, "Let me come back from the market, then I will make some for you. Why don't you help me? Take 2 glasses of water and put a bowl of sugar in it. In order to make shakkar para, you have to take water and sugar, mix it till it dissolves." Hamid thought, "Let me finish this work first, then I will watch TV." Suggest some waste for Hamid for quickly dissolving sugar. So do this experiment. So followed by an experiment. One experiment is mentioned in your textbook, page number 64, in which you have to make groups of 4 friends. So it's an activity to be conducted in classroom, but as of now, since physical interaction is not there, so it's not possible. So you can perform this activity at home if you can, if the materials are there in your home, and if you wish to do this experiment or activity, you can do it at your home. For the experiment, you will need 4 to 5 glasses of balls, spoons, water, and the things listed in the table. Take some water in each glass. Now try to dissolve one thing in one glass. Observe what happens and not in the table. So in order to check the solubility, and in order to check how much time, what happened after keeping for 2 minutes, observation also we are going to do. So in order to perform this activity, you have to take water and you have to add salt in it, then followed by we are not going to add all the items in the same glass. We are going to take different glass of water, and we are going to add it. We are going to perform this activity separately for separate things. So salt in water, soil in water, chalk powder in water, 1 spoon milk in water, oil in water. So in the second column, you will find that salt dissolve in water, soil does not dissolve in water, chalk powder excuse me, does not dissolve in water, 1 spoon milk. As of now, it is considered as, yes, it dissolves in water, but in higher classes you will be learning about a colloid solution. So milk and water considered as is not considered as milk is not considered as soluble in water. But as of now, since you are in class 5, it's better to take it, yes. Oil, no, oil does not dissolve in water. What happens after keeping for 2 minutes? So salt dissolves in water. Soil, after keeping for 2 minutes, it will settle down. Chalk powder, it will settle down. And milk, in the first observation, you will find that, or in the kaikhan, you will think that it dissolves in water, but after some time, you will find the color of water changes. The color of water is colorless, as we all know. It will change to whitish color, which is because of milk. And last one, oil floats on water. Oil will form the upper layer, and it doesn't dissolve in water. Tells us some, followed by some questions. Could you see the salt after it dissolved in water? Could you see the salt after it dissolved in water? If no, why? So when we add salt in water, if the amount of salt is less, obviously it will get dissolved completely. Since salt is completely soluble in water, it will not be visible to us. Physical appearance of salt will not be there. So does that mean that now the water does not have salt? If it is yes, if it has, then where is the salt? So does that mean that now the water does not have salt? No, it doesn't mean that the water does not have salt. Only the physical appearance is not there. It doesn't mean that salt disappear. If it has, then where is the salt? There's a space between the particles of water, and salt occupies the space between the particles of water. That's why it is. That's why the salt is not soluble. It's not visible to us. So the simple answer is salt is there and are dissolved in water. That's why salt are not visible to us. What difference did you see in the water with salt and the water with chalk powder after keeping for some time? So regarding salt, it will dissolve in water, and regarding chalk powder, it will settle down after keeping for some time. So which of the two would you be able to separate from the water by straining with a cloth, salt or chalk powder? Strain tꯧꯕ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ strainer ꯆꯥꯖꯨꯝꯒꯨꯝꯕꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯆꯨꯝ ꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ by using cloth. So by using cloth, it is a kind of filtration. So if you are using strainer in order to separate the mixture, then straining it is called filtration. So chalk powder being insoluble in water, after straining with a cloth, chalk powder can be separated from the water. While doing the experiment, Aisha and Hamid had an argument. Aisha felt that after stirring it, the oil dissolved in water. So according to the experience, or according to the activity conducted by Aisha, she felt that oil dissolves in water. Hamid did not agree. He said, look, the tiny yellow oil drops can still be seen in the water. Aisha said, let's wait for some time and then see. Do you think the oil got dissolved in the water? Why do you think so? So oil is not soluble in water, and it will remain as such, and being lighter it will float on the surface of water. Next topic is racing drops. Aisha put 2 drops of oil on the lid on her tiffin box. Next to that, she put 2 drops of water and 2 drops of sugar solution. So when you look at the picture, you will find a picture of a girl where she is, or where she is trying, where she is trying, where she has put 3 different drops, one of water followed by sugar, followed by she put 2 drops of water, 2 drops of oil, then the last one is sugar solution. She tilted the lid. Tilted at the chep thokpa chep. She saw some drops slid down quickly while some were left behind. He also tried to do the same and then tell which drop went ahead. Why did it slide faster? So when you compare the 3 different drops, the first one is water followed by oil, then the last one is sugar solution. So when you slide the tiffin box, you will find it, when you tilt it, not slide, when you tilt it, the tiffin box, you will find it, the 3 drops start sliding, and there is a difference in the speed. So the water drops will slide faster, the other 2 being sticky. When regarding sugar solution in oils, since they are sticky, they will remain, the speed will be less as compared to water drops. So next is, where did the water go? One day Aisha's mother put some water to boil on the stove for making tea. So she got busy with something and forgot about it. So she was trying to make tea, but due to some urgent work, she got busy and she forgot about the boiling water. When she remembered and came to check, she found very little water left in the pan. So since it was left for boiling without observing, so after some time she found that most of the water was not there. So think, where did the water go? Due to evaporation, which leads in the conversion of liquid form of water into vapor. So it was converted into vapor form because of boiling. Water will slowly convert, or the liquid form of water will be converted into vapor form, which reduces the quantity of water that you have taken. Why did Chitti Babu and Chinna Babu give their mango jelly in the sun? So this is also an similar example or similar question, you can say. Whatever we put, whenever we put, not whatever, whenever we put wet material in the sun, it helps. Whatever water is there in the material, the heat of the sun will vaporize, will convert a liquid form of water into vapor. So that is the answer to this question. At your house, what things are made by drying in the sun? So you can ask your parents about this activity. The next is Dundee March. So I repeat it again. When ꯐꯤ ꯁꯨꯔꯕ ꯃꯇꯨꯡꯗ ꯅꯨꯡꯁꯥꯗ ꯐꯧꯔꯤꯁꯤꯁꯨ ꯀꯩꯗꯧꯅꯕꯅꯣ? ꯐꯤ ꯁꯨꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯆꯣꯠꯂꯤꯕ ꯏꯁꯤꯡꯗꯣ, whatever water is there in the wet cloth, it will vaporize with the help of heat from sun. So Dundee March, which is on page number 66. This incident took place in 1930. Yam thainigi warini gi British matamgi ko 1947 independence phangmani adugi British palinge matamgi warini. This incident took place in 1930 before India became independent. For many years the British had made a law that did not allow people to make salt themselves. So under the British rule there were many foundation, there were many law. So they had also put a heavy tax on salt. By this law people could not make salt even for use at home. So how can anybody live without salt? And the British palinga matamda aduki matik harsh oiba law singsi ko. Adugi matangda Gandhiji said, how can law not allow us to use freely what nature has given? Masi yamna fazaba line ni ko. And salt is not created by human being. It is a natural resource. Whatever salt that there on earth, it is provided by the nature, so it belongs to everyone. Siniman Haining Iziko. So Gandhiji with several other people went on a yatra from Ahmedabad to the Dandi seashore in Gujarat. We are talking about Gujarat, where this Dandi March were carried out. So to protest against this law. So in order to get rid of harsh law regarding the use of salt, a protest was organized by Gandhiji, which was purely non-violence, and it is about the welfare of the people. So do you know how salt is made? The seawater is collected in shallow beds, dug in the sand. Water is allowed to dry in the sun. So the salt is there in the ocean, and it is provided by the nature. It is not created by human. So the process of obtaining salt is briefly mentioned in your textbook. So whatever salt is there in the sea water, it is collected in the shallow beds dug in the sand. Mataida samudragi mataida tauraga thamba kom singda isingji jarla tai chilaga huji komji ising loi tonghorani aduga it is slowly dried up by the heat of the sun. Whatever water is there will be evaporated by the heat of the sun, and we are left with salt. And masigi salt sea, that is it is a mixture of varieties of material, and if we want to purify it, crystallization will be the purification process is required in order to use it. Otherwise it cannot be used directly, which you will be learning in higher classes. After the water dries, the salt remains on the ground. So the lesson ends with a few questions. 3 questions are given in your textbook, which is going to be the last question of this lesson. What we have learned: you have washed your handkerchief and you want to dry it quickly. What all can you do? aduna phi achotpagi matani phi achotpase kedawni kanghange hairagadi akhona phawdokpa ta nungsada. So the heat provided by the sun will help us to dry up our handkerchief, a wet handkerchief. So what things do you? So it is a process in which evaporation in this evaporation will take place, and during this evaporation, the heat provided by the sun will convert liquid form of water into vapor. So what things do you put in water to make tea? Which of those things dissolves in water? So when you are trying to make tea, if you don't know the process of making tea, you can ask your parents about the raw materials required for making tea, and the materials required are water, sugar, milk, tea leaves. So these are the materials required for making tea. I would like to repeat it again: water, sugar, milk, tea leaves. So while making tea, sugar will dissolve in water, and tea leaves, it will remain as such, and milk, it looks like it is dissolved in water, but it is there. It is not soluble in water. It is there. So sugar completely dissolves in water while making tea. So you have been given, but up to class 5 we can say that milk also dissolves in water, because after filtration we are going to remove only tea leaves. The sugar, water and milk will be there in the filtrate. The residue will only be tea leaves. So for class 5 we can say that sugar and milk will go with water. But in higher classes you will be learning about milk and sugar. Milk in water is not considered as soluble. So you have been given some mystery pieces, lumps of sugar. Suggest some ways to dissolve them quickly. Chini mapa masi dissolve tahonge hai taragadi kari process chathaba yai. Aduna in order to dissolve it quickly, first you have to crush it to fine powders, so that it dissolves quickly in water, followed by warming, followed by applying heat. So by increasing temperature, solubility can be increases. So I would like to repeat it again. In order to dissolve a material, if it is soluble in water, and if it is provided in the solid form in a bigger pieces, then you have to crush it into fine powder. It will help in dissolving it in water quickly, followed by applying heat to the mixture, or solution, you can say. A solution is a little technical term which you will be learning in higher class. So to keep it simple, heat will be applied to dissolve sugar faster. So the last one is, by applying heat we can increase or we can dissolve sugar in water. So with this, lesson number 7 is complete, and along with that, syllabus of second terminal is also complete. I mean, the work is done for me. The work is complete for second terminal exam, and I'm left with only supplying study material of lesson number 7. So I would like to conclude, and study material lesson number 7 will be uploaded in the WhatsApp group as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.